Hey guys, Rob Paul here from Betway, and joining me is Dupreeh of Astralis, who is the HLTV MVP and the winner of ESL 1 Pro League Finals in Dallas. That was a mouthful, but I did it. Yeah. Thank you. So we're going to break down the rounds and some of the key rounds that helped you guys get the win. So first of all, starting with the first map, Dust 2, you won both pistol rounds. Did you guys research their pistol rounds and then counter-stratted them, or what happened there?
Basically, no. On CC we just play default. We usually go for aggressive stuff in the middle because you have the USP, so you can outduel everyone. I decided to go for the lower peak because I figured that device was covering me from top mid, so I decided to go there and I got a leash in the first one. Second one I get through the smoke and basically they just run the run. I think they wanted to run like a B split, and I just gets a guy on B as well, and then in the end like it's just a 1-on-3 and we just push him and I get that kill too. So and that's the terrorist pistol. We went for the. We had a kind of a discussion what to do actually, but we were leading so much that we just did whatever we wanted to. Like we felt so confident that everything would work. We pushed out long and we catch the first. I think we catch the first guy, headshot the first guy in the corner, and he gets traded. And then we figure out there's a guy sitting by car, and we're actually starting to fight him, and he could easily have killed like two of us. But Glaive, he calls that fall back, and he tosses a Molotov, and then whenever the Molotov blooms, we just white peek three of us, and he has no chance. Then from there on, it's just like trade, and we just, body system.
A nuke, very close, 16-14 in the end. Were there any key rounds? Because you actually lost both pistol rounds, but you ended up closing out the map. And one round in particular for me that stood out was Glaive's 3K to get you to match point.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the economy was like, but I think that really helped you that round, basically, to actually get you the win.
I think the economy looked pretty bad, to be honest, from our side, and. Apart from Glaives, I had a lot of triple spray downs from inside. Like when I played up above from hut. I don't know. They weren't really prepared for that. I got a lot of easy kills from up there. And there was one really important decision from their side. I think I killed 3 of the guys, and Nitro does like 1 versus 3 or 1 versus 2, where he played really well. I think that's really important from their side, but obviously Glaive's last one, since we didn't have any economy for the last one, and that would go into to overtime or whatever it was really important because it just that made them have no economy. It was basically the economy versus the economy. Whoever would win the economy would have the best situation. So.
Yeah. And obviously that Glaive round helped you win the economy battle and then helped you take the map. One map you didn't take though, Mirage. You were close to taking it. Do you want to just break down that map? And there's one round right at the end, the round with Naf pushing it through the smoke that we'll discuss in a second. But before that, why was it so back and forth? And what was it like to play?
For us, Mirage is a little bit night and day. Sometimes we play really well, and sometimes we just play solid. Today was just solid. Liquid is probably one of the best teams in the world on Inferno. Oh no, sorry, Mirage. They beat. I think they beat Mousesports in the map at this tournament as well, and I think Mousesports is the best team on Mirage. We had a really hard time figuring out how to, and we've always had that, figuring out how to play against Lugia, because they seem to play like they give up connector in middle like super easy, but they're so solid at playing like jungle and playing default on A, and they just work like a unit so well together whenever they peek, and you just get, whenever one guy peeks, the other one guy, you just keep getting peeked in the side, and they're playing it so well.
Great team.
Yeah. And obviously, whenever they go for double ops, we have a hard time figuring out how to do against double ops. Sometimes you get the middle, but you're still facing 2 ops, and it's just really hard. They played super well, and they fully deserve to win that map. And the last round where Naf pushed, I think I died in the beginning, it was like 14-15. I was expecting the guy planting the bomb, so actually, all of a sudden, we just had lost, like 3 guys died, and then the last guy was left on slope, and we had lost. I didn't even see what happened. I asked the guys afterwards what happened, but I didn't really figure it out.
It's almost like you guys were one planting, one next to the plant, Magic's team killed, and then there was another guy there. It was almost like you guys were in like a perfect line for NAF, which I guess is just unfortunate. Is that come down to tiredness or miscommunication at like a later stage of the game, or?
It's that's what happens in tournaments. It gets stressed. It's the last round, like people like plowing through smokes and whatever, and sometimes you find the gap and he pushes really right at the right. He was a really good play and he did it. He was ice cold. He did what he had to do and he won the round for the team. So he just played it well. And from our side, like the thing is when you go up in Mirage, if you it's hard to plant on A if you have no flashes or anything because they just plow you through the smoke. Or they can just spam all the common positions where you plant. And since there were so many on A, we didn't really have that many options. So just kudos to Liquid for playing it well.
Yeah, insane play by Naf, and very clever, very ballsy, but it paid off for him. Which then it takes us to Inferno. There's one round, you guys were down 5-1. You fully ecoed a set from a few pistols, and then Zipnix kills 2 guys, picks up an AWP, kills 2 guys with an AWP, or something like this. And you're not used to seeing Zipnix with an AWP, or winning a full eco essentially on T side. So break down that round for us, because obviously you were inside the map, and yeah, how did that round play out?
I died once again. So I was like, the eyes in the sky. And something that's really important to notice on our team is that whenever someone's dead, they're not out of the round. They're the eye in the sky for the rest of the team. So I'm always looking after whoever's covering what or whoever's doing what. So I obviously gave away this information from what I saw when I was dead. And obviously Sibby's killed 2 guys. And he hit some really insane shots. And he's not the type of obby usually the guy that usually uses an up. So that was really great for him. Like they were up, they had momentum. They were confident. We definitely broke the momentum by that, and I think it was a really crucial moment for us to get back in the game. It gave us more economy. We won a round. We got momentum. We got confident. Like it was like there's 4 things that went really well for us. So yeah, it was really great by Sibby's, but I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
Were there any moments? I mean, you got into CT, and then you and Magisk on A were just playing lights out. I mean, you only dropped 2 rounds on CT side. So why was your CT side so solid? And yeah, how do you and Magisk play it?
Well, me and Magisk has worked a lot on how to play it, and we definitely feel really confident playing both of our positions. And we really excel in using our utility to the fullest. I think when using the smokes at the correct timing and the Molotov, so we always try to isolate one side, either isolating apartments or isolating Porsche or whatever you guys call it. Yeah. And I think like the thing is that we just have so many different setups. Like then we play 2 guys pit, then we play 1 in graveyard, then we play double site, we play 1 in we always change up the things. Yeah. And we have when we go through what we know the enemy is going to do, we always have a plan for how to approach. So whenever they do an apartment execute, we know how to stand, and then every time they do a porch execute, we know how to stand. So we just adjust whenever we see the smokes or whatever happens, and we just have a really good understanding of how each other moves and how each other is peaking, and we just play it really well, and we just understand each other. We don't talk too much throughout the round. It's just like we have this connection, and we just it just happens. Obviously we do communicate, but we have this tiny bit of connection that just we know what each other are doing.
Well, it seems like it's working. You mentioned utility usage. You guys are like reinventing utility usage. I mean, you are double nading. I think your nade damage per round was insane. I think it's like one of the highest. What is it, and who is behind this? Because you guys are reinventing how to use nades.
Especially HE grenade. I think that's the most underrated weapon in the game. The thing is, a lot of people have just used HE grenades for whenever they think there's an enemy. Whereas we try to use them when we know there's an enemy. Flusha is probably one of the guys that we looked at a lot, and he's really good at using it whenever he knows there's people. Because he knows that, let's say on CT you throw a grenade that just does, 20 damage. That's enough for just a one-shot headshot with M4, and that's really important. Obviously as terrorists, we know that there's certain situations where you can stand and people like to play, so we just try. Sometimes we don't even know there's a guy there, we just try to double nade. And we have so many things, like every time we go through a new map, we just try to think, where can we double nade and where can we use grenades? And it is basically just the way that we use utility when we know there's people, instead of just randomly tossing it. So we use it to the fullest instead of just gambling. Yeah,
well, it's great to see people reinventing how to use nades, because I think they're very underrated, like you said, and yeah, no one's actually used it to the full potential.
There's nothing more annoying than whenever you approach something and you get a grenade tossed right in your face and you're like at 50 HP without seeing a guy. Yeah. That sucks.
It's triggering. Anyway, that sums up basically the matches. Once again, congratulations for winning. You are the HLTV and Betway MVP. Your first MVP. How does it feel, actually? Yeah.
It's just so good. I've been fighting for it for a long time. It's like a personal challenge for me. It's been really tough, if I have to be honest, fighting against Device, because he is just such a good player, and he's gotten it a lot, because obviously he deserves it. Yeah. But I also think it's really hard for me in my role, because as an intro fragger, you have to be on point every single time you play a game, because if you don't, you run into ops, you run into crossfires, you run into stacks, you run into Molotovs and nades, everything. I think I have a really hard role to achieve that thing. Obviously, I get a lot of action, so I also have the chance to actually get it to work. But it's like a 60-40% duel. Sometimes I just know I'm going in for the suicide, but I get out, I figure out where the enemy is, and then my team is supposed to trade me. That's just how the game is,
Yeah, well, it's a valuable job, and you nailed it this tournament. So yeah, thank you for your time and breaking down the map. I hope everybody watching enjoyed this video, and if you did, subscribe and follow us on social media. Cheers.